Welcome back to Precious Blood Renewal Center for this fourth Lenten video reflection. My name is Father Ron Will. Today I am going to lead you in a guided meditation after I read a passage from the Gospel. Prepare yourself to see this scene in your mind's eye as I read from the Gospel according to Mark chapter 1, beginning in verse 29. I invite you to close your eyes, take a couple deep breaths, relax, let go of other thoughts and concerns. In Mark's Gospel, we read, "On leaving the synagogue, Jesus entered the house of Simon and Andrew with James and John. Simon's mother-in-law lay sick with a fever. They immediately told him about her. He approached, grasped her hand, and helped her up. Then the fever left her, and she waited on them. When it was evening, after sunset, they brought to him all who were ill or possessed by demons. The whole town was gathered at the door. He cured many who were sick with various diseases, and he drove out many demons, not permitting them to speak because they knew him." Close your eyes and allow me to lead you through a meditation on that passage. This is an example of traveling in the dust of the rabbi. You have been with Jesus all day as he has been teaching in the synagogue. You're one of the disciples. And now Peter invites us to stop at his house across the street for a bite to eat and for a rest. It's been a long day of teaching in the synagogue for Jesus. We are met at the door by a neighbor telling us that this is not a good time to stop. Miriam, Peter's mother-in-law, is in bed sick. Jesus says, "Let me see her for just a minute." Jesus goes to her bedside. She tries to get up out of bed out of respect. He tells her to lie back down. He asks her, "What happened? Where does it hurt?" Jesus lays his hand on her head, closes his eyes, and appears in deep prayer. He opens his eyes, stands up, takes her hands, and says, "Get up, Miriam." She realizes that the fever has left her. She feels energy again and gets up. She hugs Jesus and thanks him. She tells all of us to sit down and relax while she gets us something to eat and drink. You say, "Jesus, you've been expelling demons and healing people of serious diseases all day. Now you even care for someone with a simple fever." Jesus says, "When you're the one with the fever, it's not so simple. You and I need to share God's love by being attentive to all people." The food, the drink, and the conversation rejuvenate Jesus and all of us. We talk about moving on, but it is getting toward evening and wonder if we should just rest here for the night. You move to a corner of the room, curl up, and reflect on what a kind and gentle man Jesus is towards so many people. You are blessed to be allowed to follow, to journey with him. You are curled up in a corner about to fall asleep, and you think the others are too, when there's a knock at the door. Someone says, "We heard that Jesus is here. Is he?" Miriam says, "Yes, but he's resting. Can you come back in the morning?" Jesus appears behind Miriam and says, "That's okay. I'll talk to him." Jesus steps outside the door, only to find a whole crowd of people gathered there, many of them sick, many of them possessed by a demon. Jesus smiles at them, his face radiating love and compassion. You get up from your corner, go outside, sit on the edge of the crowd, and watch as Jesus speaks with them one by one, often laying his hands on individuals, closing his eyes, and praying deeply for them. The crowd is large, but he takes plenty of time with them individually. If you had it in your power, you would do a large group prayer and a group healing. But Jesus visits them one-on-one, asks their name and what their concern is, then lays hands on them individually and prays individually. Then he sends them forth, telling them to thank God and to live a worthy life. He is gentle with each one, like a shepherd is attentive and gentle with each lamb. As people observe individuals healed, the anticipation and hope in the faces of the next ones in line increases. This goes on for a long time, and you get tired just watching. But Jesus seems to get more energized as each individual approaches. He is so filled with love and wants to share it. He delights in giving hope about their future. Like a good shepherd, Jesus is unbinding the lamb caught in a thicket, unbinding them from sickness and possession, and setting them free. As the freed lamb leapt around with joy, so individuals in the crowd who were unbound danced around with joy. Where does Jesus gain his strength from? It comes from a previous prayer relationship with his Father. His reservoir is filled and able to give it out now. And so it has to be with you and me. We can't wait to pray just before a big event is coming. We need to refill our reservoir every day. Because the shepherd is gentle and soothing, the sheep stands still and lets him untangle the thicket. The sheep doesn't fight him. I invite you to open your eyes now. Take a deep breath. Savor the experience you just had. May God bless your continued Lenten journey. I invite you to join us again in a few days for our next Lenten video meditation. It will be Tuesday during Holy Week.